Dream Machine project came about from a memory I had about a friend who wrote an article about Brian Geeson. He was an author, he was a poet, he was a performance artist, he was a filmmaker, he was a conceptual artist, and a writer as well. The Dream Machine itself was a combination of a kinetic sculpture, it's a conceptual art piece, and it's also what Jason said is the first artwork that if you close your eyes you could see.
The students in my class are working on 3 different projects for the Dream Machine show. One of the students is working on a project related to the actual Dream Machine, a variation of the Dream Machine. A second student has made a full Dream Machine and is also working on another project related to the Tesla coil in some way. And a third student is working on a project that uses Arduino technology in relationship to a quilt or blanket system.
This is my contribution to the Dream Machine show, and what I have here, I wanted to do a kind of a low-tech digital version of the Dream Machine. So I had this, which originally was a magic lantern that was used to project slide film, and I incorporated a digital version of the flicker effect that's going to go inside of here, and the viewer will sit and look at to get the flicker experience. And the flicker experience is supposed to activate a different state of consciousness for the viewer. So because of this different states of consciousness, I decided to have a camera aspect as well, where the viewer can take a before picture and then view the video and then take an after picture. So I'm hoping to document the change of consciousness in the appearance of their face.
My contribution for the show is going to be a smart quilt, which I'm currently working on. I'm sewing this stitched circuit right now, and ultimately in the end, the sensors that we have here on the microprocessor is called LilyPad Arduino. This is a temperature sensor, and this is a photo sensor. And when the lights in the room go down to a certain degree, the light sensor will kick on the LEDs that I've also sewn into the quilt, acting as a night light for the device. And then the temperature sensor, once it reaches a certain degree below, typically 60 or 70 in the room, then it'll kick on the heat blanket element, which is going to be sewed into the lining of the quilt and act as a heat element for the person using it.
My role in this team production is to develop concept, early version concept, and to visualize our ideas, basically, and also including a lot of modeling works.
So what I am doing is making our piece interactive and making it where a user can come up and experience our project on their own terms.
For this Dream Machine assignment, we're doing it as a group project, and my contribution will be making textures and making them look photorealistic.
Students in this class are essentially constructing an interactive piece with the Dream Machine as the base, and then they'll be interacting above it and essentially floating elements, a bridge, an island, and eventually a gate, which is kind of the goal of the game or goal of the interactive piece, that all kind of exist above or floating above the Dream Machine itself.
What I can bring to the party in experimental animation is going back to kind of old school experimental techniques using very humble materials like animating glitter, clay, sand, all different kinds of liquids, ways that people used to do old school visual effects, but actually are still very effective now, especially in combination with digital media.
My project is playing with oobleck, which is a mixture of cornstarch and water in just the right amounts to cause it to become what is referred to as a non-Newtonian liquid, where it changes form depending on the force put up on it. So in order to get oobleck to do interesting things, one method is taking a speaker and placing oobleck on it and putting some very bassy, booming music through it so that the oobleck will dance essentially to the music.
This is Steve, and here's my contribution to this art project. My art project is going to be, I guess, an instructional on how to manipulate your mind. When I was younger, me and my friends actually tried to brainwash ourselves into believing that when we were awake, we were asleep, when we were asleep, we were awake. And I won't say that we were completely successful, but it really did make us realize that we were actually able to have a hand in our own minds, in a sense. And I kind of wanted to go off of that idea of, you know, Steve Mumbawa's hand being lost because he kind of completely lost control of his own mind because he had placed his hand in his mind. That might be a little bit confusing, but it's supposed to be disorienting.
The first project that I'm working on is about dreams. I decided to make a video that has to do with my own trouble sleeping. My roommate likes to cook in the middle of the night. So I recorded some of the sounds of him cooking and I created a song out of it. The other project is an interactive piece, and that kind of got me thinking about like video games, because in dreams you actually have choices. You aren't just told a story, you actually act your way through it. So video games, everybody has had the same experience playing Zelda or Mario. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to have a video game that actually deals with dreams itself? So in this piece, you'll have a large arcade controller that I've designed, and you'll be able to interact and go through the story yourself.
I'm taking motion media because I like to work in video and film and photography and kind of mix up what I do. And I will be doing two pieces. And one, it deals with textures and colors, and it's my walks through urban parts of Atlanta near where I live. The second piece will be based on my tableaus that I'm doing for my photography class, and I am zoning in on Madonna and Child, and I'm doing two enthronement pieces and then one a Madonna by herself, and these will be with sound and music, chamber music. This will be a live show, so I will have some actors there to intermix with the actual projection of the video that I made, and it will give it kind of a Trump look of, you know, what's real, what is not.
Standing here with Sarah Linebaugh inside of her chromoscope. It's cute right here.
Here it is.
Sarah, what is this chromoscope?
Basically, it's a color environment where you can come in and based on the colors, red, green, and blue, RGB, you can change the colors and kind of create your own color environment.
Excellent. Can you show us how that works?
Sure. If I press red, the environment will turn red, and then blue and green.
Jackson believed that the Dream Machine would revolutionize human consciousness. He saw it as a portal that leads us to imagine humanity liberated to explore its creativity and complete freedom. And although the artists in the exhibition have approached this invention in their own unique ways, each has imaginatively managed to embody a piece of Jason's creative dream.